Morgan, Murray, welcome to Whistle Talks. Thank you for being here with me.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Well, my name's Morgan. I'm one of the co-founders of Tech Tenant. So we're a SaaS property management company based in Denver, Colorado. Half of our company is actually based in India, and then we're remote first. So all of our sales agents actually work either part-time or full-time, and they're all based in North America. So we have people in Canada, we have people in the United States, pretty much any state you can think of, we have somebody working. So we work with apartments, we work with multi-unit family houses, we work with grocery stores, we work with gyms, pretty much anything that needs property management we work with. So we actually launched about a year ago, and we significantly gained a lot of traction, added a lot of new features, and I'm here to kind of explain what worked for us and hopefully it works for you guys as well.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, congrats on the success in the last year. Um, and I'm so glad to have a partner on Whistle Talks that's speaking about property. Very interesting topic that we've never really spoken about.
Sure.
Um, and yeah, prop tech sounds pretty interesting. So thank you so much for being here. Um, so how did you get into the industry?
Sure. So I've been in sales for about 15 years. The way I got into property management, so I have a good friend in India named Pravang. He's also one of the co-founders. And I've used him for various websites, different software development projects. And he had come to me with this idea for a property management company. And we had been in talks for about 5 or 6 months, kind of finalizing what we were going to do, kind of the insights of names, things like that, how we're going to get funding, and kind of have a business plan before we started. And that's kind of how we went with it. So a bit of background about Pravang. He's been doing the support side of property management for about 8 years. So he had all of that already intact. So we went ahead and used his support side, and then we built an entirely new enterprise software system.
Fascinating. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And onto today's topic, which is no one cares until they do, the SaaS creation formula. Could you speak about the steps that need to be taken to create this SaaS creation formula?
So I've divided it into 4 key points. The first one is solve the pain that keeps people up at night. And so this is very general and kind of vague, and it can be applied to really any SaaS business. But basically,
Yeah,
we went into with the mindset that if we're going to develop an entirely new business, we need to figure out what the problem is, right? Because there's huge companies that do property management that have software. So we had to figure out who they were, what they did very, very well, and what they were lacking at. And obviously, I'm not going to put names or anything, but what we
yeah,
collectively figured out was that customer service was the biggest issue that they had. There was a few features they were lacking, but for the most part, they had really, really good software. It was just the customer support was lacking a little bit. So we did most of our development on how we could fix that problem so that when people would call in, they talk to a real person, right? So we fixed that support system, and our customers have loved that. So that's one of the biggest things that we did is that we found the problem and we fixed it even before we launched the company. Second point was we launched back in May of last year and we had zero funding. Obviously, I had the sales experience, he had the software development experience, but we didn't have any money to hire anybody with sales. And obviously, I knew of Whistle, but we didn't have the money to get Whistle. So we figured, we're going to hire, commission only reps. And it worked out great to our benefits. And the way that we did that is we offered the reps the flexibility to work part-time. And this became huge. And the reason being is because most of our reps are part-time. And the reason it works so well is because they come to us and they're like, hey, Pravang, hey, Morgan, I have a family. We want to go on a trip. I want to use Tech Tenant to get extra money so we can go on this trip. Or maybe I have a big bill coming up, whatever, my kids are going to college, whatever it is, we sit down with them and we set a plan. This is what you need to make, and this is how you're going to do it. And they're able to do that. And they're actually a lot more successful overall than the full-time. And the reason being is they come to us, they have that hunter mentality, and they have, the deadlines and the goals, and they have everything backing them. And so it's been very, very successful for us. And that's not always the case. Not everybody does well in commission, but it's worked very, very well for us.
Okay, I really like that structure, that approach. It makes a lot of sense that you're keeping that employee morale up. So yeah, that's really fascinating. It's an interesting approach.
Sure.
And even though it's only been a year, you've clearly closed quite a few deals. Could
Mhm.
you speak about how you accomplished this?
Sure. So the third point was sell the outcome, not the software. And that was very difficult at first. We created this awesome software. We want to go out and be like, hey, we're brand new. This is what it does. This is the features, stuff like that. But we kind of had to take a step back and say, hey, this is the problem we're solving, and this is the outcome of what the problem, the solution is going to look like down a year, right? So, for
Yeah.
example, there's a lot of apartment complexes. Let's say they're, a mid-level apartment complex that's getting broken into quite a lot. They can't afford the complex security. We offer a feature, low cost, that's included, that takes care of that. So what that does is that eliminates that problem altogether. It fixes the customer support. You're not going to have your tenants getting their cars broken into, or somebody, maybe stealing their packages. I know when I was renting, I go down to get my Amazon package and it's gone, right? And
Oh
you're like,
wow. Yeah, I
oh,
can imagine. Yeah,
yeah, you're
of
like, oh,
course.
that sucks. And it's just little things like that. And obviously, in the moment, you get online and you write a review, whether you mean it or not. And that really kind of hurt their credibility, their reputation. And so by offering that feature, in the long run, that outcome really helps them, with their image. It helps them ultimately, probably in the long run, able to increase their rent prices, things like that. So it was really a big investment that they made with us that actually saved them money, and it makes them money at the same time.
And then you say, yeah, act like you're funded before you are. So obviously you said in the beginning that
Mhm.
you you and your co-founder had this idea, but you had absolutely no funding. So clearly you raised funds.
I mean, it's really changing your I guess your perception. And the way that I look at it is, no matter who you're talking to, just like we just talked about, everybody gets up in the morning, they put on their pants the same way, they take a shower, everything. They're just people. And so whether they make $1, whether they make 10 million, 10 billion, whatever it is, they're not worse than, they're not better than you. And if you can make them, have a good conversation and make a friendship out of it, there's really no reason why you can't do that. And so we went with that mindset. And early on, what I typically did with early on sales is I went with referrals, and that's what I did for investments as well. And so I was able to secure an investment. We launched in May. I secured an investment back in August, and I did that through a friend, actually. And what that did is that held me very, very accountable, because not only do I have, this person wants to make their money back, but I also have that friendship on the line too. And so going forward, we meet every week. He's made, tenfold. I won't go into that, but it's actually strengthened our relationship, and he's a great guy. And it kind of goes back to the point where everybody's the same. And really, if you start a business and you're looking for funding, you don't always have to go after the VCs. And oftentimes, if you do have the money saved and you use it properly, you might not even need funding. We needed it originally to fix some things on the software side. But other than that, we've been, self-funded besides that.